Welcome to Religion 101. We're going to cover 4 different religions chronologically. The first being Islam, which was founded by the Prophet Muhammad in the 7th century. Although they do not regard Muhammad as the founder of a new religion, but as a restorer of the original monotheistic faith of Abraham, Moses, and Jesus. Essentially, he thought that his religion was a continuation of Judaism, the restorer of the original monotheistic faith of Abraham, Moses, and Jesus. Muslims believe that there is only one God. Translated to Arabic as Allah, Muslims believe that Islam existed long before Prophet Muhammad and that the religion has gradually evolved with time. The Quran describes Muslims as biblical prophets and messengers such as Adam, Noah, and Moses, which according to the book of Exodus, Moses was the son of a tribe of Israel and was commanded by God to deliver the Hebrews from slavery in Egypt. The Quran states that these 3 men were Muslims because they submitted to God, preached his message, and upheld his values. Modern Muslims, though, have rejected decadent Western ways and returned to the use of traditional Islamic technologies such as internet, suicide bombings, terrorism, and nuclear weapons in an effort to be more true to the Quran's instruction to spread their word. Next, we're going to move on to Mormonism, founded by Joseph Smith. Smith said that from about 1823 to 1827, he had been visited by an angel named Moroni. Smith stated that the angel indicated that Joseph had a work to accomplish. He was to find and publish a long-buried book of golden plates protected by the angel. In March 1826, though, Smith was convicted after an alleged admission to being a disorderly person and an impostor in a court in Bainbridge, New York. The Book of Mormon was revealed to Joseph Smith on 12 golden tablets, but when the mushrooms wore off, the tablets were nowhere to be found. This was one of the first miracles of Mormon. Brigham Young joined the new church in 1832. Repeated conflict led Young to relocate his group of Latter-day Saints to a territory in what is now Utah and was later installed as governor and church president. When federal officials received reports of widespread and systematic obfuscation of federal officials in Utah, most notably judges, President James Buchanan decided to install a non-Mormon governor and sent in the troops. When Young received words that the federal troops were on the way, he made plans to burn down Salt Lake City and move his followers to Mexico, but at the last minute he relented and agreed to step down as governor. A recurrent question is the matter or extent of Young's involvement in murders and other illegal activities in early Utah. Young was actually indicted on murder charges in 1872 related to a separate incident, although Young's murder indictment was thrown out when the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that the process used to select grand juries in Utah was unconstitutional because it was designed to keep Mormons off juries. Next we come to Scientology, which was created by L.Ron Hubbard, author of many pulp fiction novels. Anyways, Hubbard was 16 and living in D.C. when he obtained a copy of the Book of the Law by Aleister Crowley, which if you want to read about somebody who's really creepy, read about Aleister Crowley. This introduced him to the world of occultism, black magic, and Satanism, a tradition which Hubbard claims greatly influenced his life at home and the teachings of Scientology. Hubbard claims to have been educated at the Ivy League University, Princeton. In the preface for his 1951 book, Science of Survival, he thanks, quote, "my instructors in atomic and molecular phenomena, mathematics, and the humanities at George Washington University and at Princeton." However, he was never a member of Princeton's university student body. Instead, he participated in a 4-month course in military government at the Naval Training School located at Princeton during the Second World War. In the late 1940s, he declared, "Writing for a penny a word is ridiculous. If a man really wants to make $1 million, the best way would be to start his own religion. Although in 1954, in his book The Creation of the Human Ability, on page 251, Hubbard writes, Scientology has opened the gates to a better world. It is not psychotherapy nor a religion. The Church's creation myth, in which an evil intergalactic warlord named Xenu kidnaps billions of alien life forms, chains them near Earth's volcanoes, and blows them up with nuclear weapons. He also claims to have visited Venus and heaven. But let's get back to the facts. On the 16th of October 1975, an outgoing cable from the CIA read, Review of available info regarding overseas activities. Church of Scientology reveals only that its founder, L.Ron Hubbard, is an eccentric millionaire who has been expelled from residence in several countries because of his odd activities and behavior. On the 8th of July, 1977, FBI agents raided the offices of the Church of Scientology in Los Angeles and Washington, D.C. In addition to burglary tools and surveillance equipment, agents seized approximately 90,000 pages of documents and files, the contents of which blew the lid off of Operation Snow White. On the 17th of March 1978, L.Ron Hubbard was convicted in absentia of fraud by a French court. He was sentenced to 4 years in prison and a $7,000 fine. On the 15th of August 1978, a federal grand jury indicted 9 Scientologists, including L.Ron Hubbard's wife Mary Sue, for criminal acts in furtherance of Operation Snow White. The charges included burglarizing government offices and stealing official documents, perjury, conspiracy, and obstruction of justice. In June of 1983, he revealed in a Penthouse interview, I believe in Satanism. There was no other religion in the house. Scientology and black magic. What a lot of people don't realize is that Scientology is black magic that is just spread over a long period of time. To perform black magic generally takes a few hours, or at most a few weeks, but in Scientology it's stretched out over a lifetime, so you'll see it. Black magic is the inner core of Scientology, and probably the only part of Scientology that really works. Anyways, after several years of charges of fraud by the United States and France, and Scientology being banned in several European countries, L.Ron Hubbard became a recluse, and he went back to writing pulp fiction novels, most notably Battlefield Earth, which starred fellow Scientologist wacko John Travolta in the movie version, who ironically also starred in Pulp Fiction, which had nothing to do with L.Ron Hubbard. But on the 24th of January 1986, L.Ron Hubbard died in a motorhome. On the 25th of January 1986, the coroner's post-mortem report indicated that L.Ron Hubbard had long, unkept fingernails and toenails and 10 recent needle marks on the right buttock beneath a Band-Aid. Finally, we come to Rastafarianism. In 1930 in Ethiopia, Haile Selassie was crowned King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Selassie, whose previous name was Rastafari Makananen, was the Black Emperor of Ethiopia. Rastafarians have developed a unique language and outward appearance best exemplified by the dreadlock hairstyle. Rastafarians have also placed a high value on smoking marijuana, ganja, which is used for meditation and to reflect completely on the word of Jah, or God. Ganja, or better known to non-Rastafarians as marijuana, is used for religious purposes for the Rastafarians. Ganja, marijuana, is considered the weed wisdom, or the weed of wisdom by Rastafarians, as it helps one gain wisdom. Rastafarians use it as a part of a religious rite and as a means of getting closer to their inner spirit, self, Jah, God, and creation. True Rastafarians do not smoke cigarettes, as it is seen as unnatural and dangerous to one's health, which I can completely agree with. Marijuana is not the only plant or herb used by Rastafarians. They use a wide variety of herbs and plants for medicinal and dietary purposes. However, ganja is the most popular. The expression "I and I" is frequently heard among Rasta talk. What it means is that no person is more privileged than another in the basic truth of life. All people are totally equal. That is why many times Rastas will opt and use "I and I" instead of "you and I," because they believe that all people are bound together by one God, Jah. That's why I think the only good religion to have is Rastafarianism.